G'day, g'day, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Magic Gamer, back at it again with another video. In the last video, we went to Minmus, we landed, we got the research, and we're back, as you can see on the top of my screen. 778 research. That's pretty good.
This episode, we're essentially going to collect everything to research a rover to go to the Mun. Begin. So yeah, cutting it now, this is just me editing the rover. So this is my initial design of a very little craft. I didn't really know what I was doing, because in this first half of the episode, I'll be honest with you guys, I went to the Mun, I think it was twice, to just get the research up to actually go, to go get the parts of the rover to then get it onto the Mun, which was interesting to say the least. So here we're just going over, the usual stuff, 400 times speed, because you guys don't need to see, all my steps. But this was just me, building the usual Mun science rovers as I do every episode, because at the end of the day, any science not collected is science wasted in my opinion. So here we're just putting on the larger stages, same design as previous models, putting on the landing legs. Don't know why I put so many landing legs, it's kind of silly, I'll be honest with you guys. But yeah, now I just move it up, I just make the big boy boosters, just pop them on, and yeah, that's my design. Also, sorry guys, I might sound a bit stuffy, I'm kind of sick, so this won't be the best,
Let's see, how much research? Oh, drum roll. Oh, come on, man. Oh my god.
So yeah guys, from that you can see I got enough research to pretty much unlock everything for the rover.
Nah, literally all I did was go to the moon once. But anyway, so yeah, now we have scanning technology, so we can actually, scan the bodies. So I reckon I'm gonna make a rover. Yeah, let's do it.
So guys, as you can see, this has been actually making the rover now that we'll end up landing on the Mun, and we'll drive around and get all our research. So initial designs were, use the little wheels, but, I saw those as really goofy, and I was like, nah bro, we don't need that. Then I was going to plan on initially making it with solar panels on the sides and everything, but my design does change further on, because my needs just increased. I just realized that I had so much science, so many parts actually to fit on this rover, that it doesn't end up being this little square thing that I wanted it to be, which is alright. I mean, I don't mind it, but we can make smaller rovers if we need in later episodes. So that was me, adding the battery pack, adding the docking port, moving everything around. I don't know why I spin the camera around so much when I edit as well. It's hilarious. As you can see, I literally just spin it around 100 million times. But yeah, so here I just say, 1x6 solar panels, way better, because then you can actually extend them out and they won't touch anything. And then after that, put the steps on, started putting the science modules on, everything I'll need, I ever wanted to put the science module on the front, but I realized that I couldn't really reach anything, and I think later on, I didn't add this, but there was a bunch of parts where I was testing and everything, and I realized that actual arm there blocked the solar panels for whatever reason. So I did move it around, which you guys will see. There'll be 3 or 4 edit swaps where it's me changing it. But that was my initial design, cute little rover, had rear lights and everything. This was the idea, but didn't really turn out that well, So after my first test, that was the launch where it cut to black and then everything happened, which I don't show. But that was the launch, and I realized that it spins out really easily, so I need to turn down the steering response a lot on this. So I was thinking, maybe put big wheels. Then I realized how much electricity it uses, and I was like, nah bro, I'm not gonna do that, not gonna risk it. So I put the small wheels on, which is really funny. I don't know why I did that, because then I came straight back and I was like, nah bro, I gotta remove all this stuff. This stuff is all not helping at all. Plus, I need to add science juniors. I need to add storage for the actual, scientists to stay. Even though I have cool parts, I'm not going to be using those on the surface bases, because I also want to stick to having a simpler surface base where you guys, even without mods or anything, you can still make what I'm making, or copy, even though it's terrible design, you can still copy what I'm making. So because I know when I was growing up and I was watching Kerbal Space Program, I didn't have a powerful laptop, and I know nowadays, technology's getting better, but I'm assuming a lot of you that watch my videos do not have a powerful laptop because they are so expensive, and rightly so. Like, why would you pay so much money for such a powerful piece of hardware that you don't need and you can't afford? Like, there's no need for that. So I'm going to be making all my base things, like the first rover, first base on a certain planet, or first satellite or whatever, out of the base parts. And then if I make, let's say, like a big interplanetary, like, space station or something, I will use modded parts of that. But that's only because I want it to look really cool. So anyway, getting back to the conversation, we did extend out this rocket a whole bunch. Oh, the rocket, bro. The rover. We extended it out so much. We put 6 wheels, which I thought was overkill, but then, you know, I don't really want the wheels bottoming out and breaking because I have no real way to replace them and fix them. Then we were moving, you know, the solar panels. I was thinking, oh, where to move this, where to move that. Just moved on top of there, slapped it together. Then I just put, you know, a little science module on the back so I could actually collect all the science. That was another test where I did the driving. And yeah, this is where I realized I couldn't actually put it there because it covers the solar panel. So I moved it to there, which is pretty funny. And yeah, then I was just, you know, putting little lights on, thinking, you know, why aren't these lights staying in line? Like, you know, it wouldn't fit on the outside of the thing. It was just moving in and out, and it was like floating. So I just decided, and it'll show up in a sec, I just put a big light on the back. I'm just like, you know, don't need a small light if it doesn't fit. And that was that. So now I'm actually designing the rocket that will go, you know, to the planet. So I'm disabling all the motors, all the steering. Don't want this rocket to shake at all. Also, a really funny thing, when I was like designing the, you know, the fairing, it was like being really wobbly. I don't know why it was doing that. But as you'll see when I actually take off and launch it, it's really weird. Like, it does not want to stay still. It just wants to wiggle a lot. But I managed to overcome it. I did strut it down like a billion times. I put so many struts. But yeah, that was pretty much me, just making my rover rocket. This thing was super heavy because it had to lift, I think it was like 4 tons worth of, you know, a rocket to get to the moon, to get to the mun, which was interesting. But yeah, you know, ended up being 157 tons, which was alright. Thrust to weight ratio is 0.87, sorry, I said 6.7, that would have been funny. But yeah, it was alright. And then I ended up getting it to 2.15, and as you can see, you know, I had to edit things out, put it the struts. This is the part where I tried to strut it all down. I was like, nah, it's not working, fine, I'll strut it all down myself, and I just attached it. Oh, that was so funny. Anyway, then I managed to add, you know, a set of gravity, tried to make it not tip, saved it, moved in the right actual astronauts, because I wanted it to have like a replaceable science area and everything. So changed the colours, European Space Agency, woohoo! And I took it for a little test. Turns out, in the test, it wasn't going up, and it didn't even get to the moon. It literally got to the moon, ran out of fuel, and crashed straight into it. So I decided, hey, you know, solid fuel rocket boosters weren't the best idea. I'm just going to use liquid fuel, and then all the fuel in the middle stage, which got me pretty much to the moon, is actually going to be able to, like, be retained. So by the time I get to the moon, I still have enough fuel in that top stage, the small one, to land properly and safely. Which is, you know, pretty cool. I got a bit annoyed here. I was like, you know what? Putting these big rockets on. If it doesn't work, then I give up. I say it in every video, and then I literally do it 5 minutes later. Oh, you know, I give up on this design if it doesn't work. So funny that I say that, guys. Like, you laugh, but yeah, here's the launch. So once we take off, wakey wakey, wakey wakey, future me. There we go. So yeah, I realized that I didn't have the rockets again on the stage 1. So I had to activate them manually, but that's alright. Started flying up, you know, usual things, getting up into the atmosphere, trying to fly up, trying to get a good apalapsia, I don't know what the word is, but you know, it's the left and right. That's all I know. I'm not a rocket scientist. So at about 8,000 meters, we're like, oh, you know, we're ready. I'm ready for this. I'm ready. Start turning, and I realized that, hey guys, if you don't just full send it for like 60 degrees, your rocket won't tip that easily. And that's a tip I give to you guys. Try and follow that circle, the orbit exiting circle, like as you're getting into an orbit, and your rocket does not like shake that easily. So yeah, I was, you know, those parts exploded, you know, I was going up slowly. I realized my orbit was off. I tried to correct it, but I did the thing where I forgot, like, you know, how sensitive the controls were and then how bad I am at controlling rockets. So I was like, you know, hitting buttons left and right, and then I was like, you know what, stuff it. I'll just select the auto strut. I I'll select the auto strut, the auto area, and I'll just send it, into the atmosphere. So there's me burning up, getting a somewhat good orbit, getting a great orbit. A 32-second burn, that's pretty good, 16 seconds on each side. I still have heaps of fuel in that bottom stage, still have 2,477 meters of delta V, which is pretty good. So yeah, Also, I'd like to thank you guys for all the views on my last few videos. I know I've been kind of lackluster, not really uploading great quality videos, but I'm trying, Now I'm getting into the thick of it, as they say, with uni. I know next week we have Easter holidays. So, not this week, but next week when I release the video, or maybe the week after. I can't remember exactly when I'll release the next video. Depending on when Easter is and everything, I'll have either a better or a slightly shorter video, and then I'll edit the other one to be a bigger video. Maybe go to, I don't know, the Mars or something. I don't know what it's called in Kerbal Space Program. If this thing doesn't move, I'm not moving either. So, as you can see, I commit to the burn. I think I burned slightly too long. Yep, circle my craft, typical thing I do. I burned slightly too long, but that's alright, I ended up getting into a good little orbit. So yeah, time warped forward. Also realized that if you time warp slower, it doesn't lag your game as much because it doesn't have to render in the mods which give me the actual surface textures and the rocks and everything, which is great. So yeah. Now, we're just slowly turning. We're gonna go into the moon. We're gonna see how we land. So yeah, now we're just going down. I know this is gonna be live commentary in a second, but going down, fixing the periapsis, apoapsis, and making sure I get a good burn. Oh yeah!
Save the game so we don't cook anything. Now, before I stuff anything up, retract the solar panels. Start burning slightly. Just a bit. We want a relatively... too far. Want a relatively flat area. I mean, down there's about alright, I believe. Plus we have 1,000 meters per second delta V, that's alright. We'll be fine. The worry just is that my rocket won't land and it will crash into the surface of the Mun, which hopefully doesn't happen. I mean, make sure it's still recording, I really wouldn't want this to crash. Meters a second, that's alright. Get down to 300 and then we'll burn. Ooh. Nearly cooked it. Okay, so we just gotta... What the hell else to do this? We need to get to a really soft area and then we just need to burn down. So we need to do, like this. And then we just need to tilt forward all the way. Big rock there. I should be fine, in theory. Okay. Shut down the engine. So now, you have to slowly tilt forward and hope that it doesn't break my rocket. Oh, come on, tilt forward. Softly. Softly does it. Softly does it. Oh! Yes! Yes! We got a rover. Oh, what the? Oh, yeah, wait, hold on. We got a rover to the Mun. Before we drive, let's look at the view. Internal paddle lights on. Everything's working. The only annoying thing is I didn't put, cameras, which is a pain to say the least. But, that'll be fine. So yeah, now we can officially drive around the Mun, and yeah. All the cool stuff. I know these rocks aren't solid, which is pretty sad. But, you know, if I was to turn it on to make the rock solid, man, this game would lag so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the episode. Let's, you know, turn everything on, extend the ladder out. Let's get Edry out. You know, let's get him out. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is Kerbal Space Program. Rover to the moon. Hope you guys enjoyed. I don't know how to hide the... Hold on, how do I hide? Yeah, so that's me essentially landing on the mud. I finally got a rover over, which is so sick, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. And I will see you guys next episode for a very special episode. This is the Magic Gamer OG, signing out once again. Peace.